First of all, I was going to eat you. Whoa, hey, I'm flattered. You're just not like my type. Not your type? Not your type? First of all, I am God tier levels of attractive in my human form, so you would be so lucky.
You think you guys have seen it all? Well, this DID faker can quite literally summon Jesus as one of her altars. That is certainly quite impressive. Honestly though, these days it's easy to spot the fakers on mental health disorders on TikTok because they all have the same starter pack. Funny hairstyles, unnatural hair colors, eyes brighter than anyone's future, crazy filters, and honestly just cringy skits where they switch between different altars. It's like they all just copy each other's homework at this point. Also, I already know I'm going to get a few comments saying, but Ablaze, I have a different hair color and I don't act like this. Well, of course, not you. You're one of the cool ones. Not like those silly ones on TikTok that do these things. And honestly, it looks like the more you fake, the more fame you magically pull out of thin air. And this one right here, honestly, in my opinion, is generally one of the worst fakers on TikTok. The pillow fort system. I should have probably added that they all have the word system as well in their starter pack. Or, as some of the others know her, Vermin and the Rats. Yeah, what an absolutely ridiculous name. So, you claim to have DID, and you name your system Vermin and Rats? Right, who are the real rats here? Your altars? And typically refers to pesky creatures, like rats, mice, or bugs that wreak havoc and spread disease. So, Vermin and the Rats basically translates to a bunch of unwanted guests crashing the party. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, it's a brilliant choice of words. No, honestly, really. With all the possibilities out there, she went with that. Kind of hits the nail on the head, actually. And while some are content with faking just one condition, Vermin is out here claiming the whole buffet. But what could she possibly be faking, Ablaze? Well, let's have a look, shall we? Tourette's, autism, ADHD, and let's just throw in some fake schizophrenia for good measure. All because she supposedly got kicked out of her house. Makes sense. Oh, and I already mentioned the cherry on top, right? DID, because why not, hey? Might as well add that in there. Her list of mental health disorders wouldn't be complete without that one, let's be honest. And she's not just faking these disorders for kicks, but she's also dishing out advice, like she's some sort of professional. We've talked about this in the past and how that can be so dangerous. I know some people like to think that if you have a certain disorder, that gives you the right to talk about it and help other people. But I think, honestly, when you claim to have these disorders with no diagnosis and you're trying to give advice and also diagnose other people on platforms like TikTok, it's just insane. Some of the stories I've covered on my channel are incredibly serious, with certain people even facing legal consequences, like all the ones who fake cancer. But I do think that it should also carry over to not only just physical things on TikTok, but people that fake this type of thing should totally be under the same umbrella when it comes to dishing out consequences and legal action. Look, the point is, TikTok seems to bring out the worst in people. I'm kinda happy in some ways it's actually going to be banned in the US. Generally, I mean, let me know what you think in the comments down below. I know some of you don't even have TikTok in the first place. Lucky. But for the others that do, would you actually miss it at this point? Or do you think it would actually be a good thing? Because these fakers are everywhere. It seems like there's no shortage of them. Which, by the way, thank you for all the endless drama, because honestly at this point I'm just never going to be running out of content for my channel. I guess there are some positives. Now, before we dive in today's main topic, let's do the comment shout out. And today's comment shout out goes to Quiet Blake 6997 and Missy B 5255. Thank you guys so much for the comments in the last video. If you guys want a shout out, by the way, in the next video, make sure to leave a comment down below saying TikTok fakers are getting out of control. Two things, very true. Second, it helps the algorithm, and I would appreciate it massively. And if you want to see if you're in the next shout out, make sure to turn on the notifications.
Hello, I'm Vermin. I'm a host of the Pillow Fort system, and if you're wondering where we've been, having a crisis.
So I don't know how much we'll actually end up using this page, but a couple of us wanted to make DID system stuff related videos, and we have another page, but we can't post on there because there's like family and people who follow us who are not ready to tell or talk to about this. So I thought I would make us like a little second account that we can post on, and I don't know if we'll even post on here, but I wanted to make a video. I'm Jessie, I'm 18.
With that all being said, let's delve deeper into vermin and rats, shall we? So, going back, it's almost comical to see how many among these fakers play the same game, putting on a show claiming to have many disorders, and then donning the hat of an advisor to their loyal followers. And this leads us to our main subject today, who has around 113,000 followers on TikTok. And as time goes on, her followers of course increase, but she's also doubling down on the fakery. But let's start from the beginning. In 2022, by then she had already claimed to have DID. I'm not sure about this, but is it really required to have lots of TikTok accounts if you want to make videos related to this disorder? And there you have it. Just 1 month after posting that video, she really started making cringy videos about her alters. 4 months later, she posted another video, this time claiming to have autism. And based on what I've read in the subreddits, Vermin is supposedly in her 30s, though her real age isn't confirmed. It seems highly unlikely that a well-informed person would believe this claim. You might be asking, can adults develop autism? ASD can't develop later in life. As we've discussed, autism is caused by typical brain development that occurs at a young age. But yes, I still acknowledge that this condition may go undiagnosed or even misdiagnosed at childhood, particularly in those with milder forms of the disorder or those that have learnt to mask their symptoms. This means some people might not get diagnosed until they're adults. So while it's possible for Vermin to receive a late diagnosis in her adulthood, it's just really unusual, especially if she's previously been diagnosed with another condition by a certified professional. It's even more doubtful if her narrative is true, because if she truly had autism, wouldn't her previous therapist or psychologist, the same one who diagnosed her with DID, have also noticed her ASD signs? Honestly, it's just weird that she's suddenly claiming to have this condition now, especially given the established patterns of her behavior seen on her TikTok account. Unless, of course, she's self-diagnosed, which brings on its own set of issues.
You. Yes, you. The fuck was that? You think I didn't see that?
What? I just fronted to kill a fly.
You climbed up the wall and onto the ceiling like a fucking lizard.
I was getting away.
You killed it with fire.
Okay, yeah, a bit over the top, but like I didn't do any damage to the walls or anything.
You killed it with fire from your mind.
Right, yeah. So the host actually explained this to me. So different alters can have like different physical limits and abilities in the body. It's why Meg is allergic to honey, but the rest of us aren't.
That is not how this works.
Look, I am an alter, just like you. It's taken me a little while to get my head around that, and I'm still adjusting, but...
No. You don't get to fucking gaslight me. You're a goddamn demon.
Yeah, but so is Greg, and I don't see you on his case.
Greg can't grow claws at will.
Okay, you know what? I don't need this right now. I promised the littles that I was going to teach them the language of the ancients, and I'm going to keep that appointment. You deal with whatever's going on here.
You can act all innocent, but I got your fucking number, Carthax. I'm going to prove to everyone else that this is not normal.
Whatever. Have fun with that.
Can you believe that guy?
Oh yeah, just ignore him. He's always like that.
Alright everyone, thank you for attending this Demon High Council meeting.
Now I know no one wants to be here, but this is very important. And you're all hell's shining examples of evil.
Now, before we get down to the numbers of it all, let's go ahead and do roll call.
Felgen, beast of the putrid flame.
Here.
Zergal, the black mouth, swallower of children.
Here.
Elsie, the boss babe. Kelsey.
Yes, here.
Uberius, the controlling bender of minds. Obviously I'm here. Carthax, the destroyer, siege of the Seven Realms. Garthax?
He's not here.
Are you kidding me?
He's been completely AWOL for months.
Yeah, no, he's been completely gone. The human suffering department is kind of falling apart. Fuck. Of course we can't just start a meeting off like normal. Okay.
So, after a while, Vermin decides to spice things up by introducing more demonic altars into the mix. And in this video, we're going to be getting into the Halloween spirit a little bit earlier than usual, because these fakers always love to dress up in spooky costumes for the camera. I mean, she's got demonic altars, and for some reason, even a Jesus altar? Honestly, quite the diverse cast of characters, covering all grounds, I guess, at this point. Well, honestly, I've never really messed with someone before who could summon Jesus instantly. I gotta admit, guys, I'm a little bit terrified. If you guys could please hit the like button so I may carry on. It will give me the strength.
Recently we posted a video where we mentioned, among some other silly altars that we have in our system, a fictive of Jesus Christ. He pretty much just fronts, on a rare occasion when somebody will say like, Jesus Christ, he'll just front and be like, hey, what's up? And then before we can ask any questions or get any clarification, he just laughs and then pieces out. You know what's like super countercultural, actually? Being Christian? I don't know, maybe think about it or whatever. Like, no pressure, do your own thing. I'm desperate. JK, LOL, unless you want me to be. Anyway, see you at Sunday, I hope. Yours truly, Jesus Christ.
We have multiple warriors cats living in our brain forever. What do you mean? What do you mean? We have a fictive of Jesus Christ.
Why would you tell them that? Why do you think I'm hiding?
Alright, now, what's her new disorder? Well, now she's claiming to have ADHD. The fakery just never seems to end with this one, as she's proudly asserting to have this. Yet, she hasn't mentioned receiving a proper diagnosis from a real professional. For any of the conditions she claims to have, by the way, so far, making her credibility very questionable. It's pretty obvious at this point she's just simply adding more disorders to her collection, and her demonic altars are only worsening over time.
Sometimes the DID and the ADHD are not a good combination. Vermin just did a little ADHD brain chain. Here's kind of what happened. Oh, a cute video of a mom showing off the bath time toys that she has for her kid.
Frankly, the whole vampire or werewolf thing doesn't bother me that much. I mean, yeah, it's certainly weird, sure, but if that's what Vermin feels she needs to do to get through the day, then who am I to really judge? Maybe that's a job for the Jesus altar to do.
Oh yeah, becoming a vampire was easily the best thing that ever happened to me. My life is exactly the same every day. Yeah, honestly, it makes sense that so many vampires are autistic. Like, we all have sleep issues.
I just got here. We've been crying, apparently. Someone is actively making bacon. There's just a popsicle that is mostly thawed.
So last month, my transformation happened like a week before my period, so I had to deal with wolf form while dealing with PMDD. I wish I could just be covered in fur.
Hi there! You wanna go for a ride? Sure thing! Jump in!
Oh, who?
I'm aware that I'm not the host, but I don't want to figure out who I am. It's a lot of work. I don't want to do that.
I'm just a silly, goofy little guy. I'm just a little guy. What else do you need to know? That's all the information you need. Why did I split? What is my role? That's not important. What is my name? Pronouns? Do I have any of those? Not important. I'm just a little guy. Also, and I don't really believe in possession, but like, can you imagine how wild it would be if a system got possessed? They would never know. I feel like that would be a confusing situation for everyone. Like, imagine a demon-heavy system gets possessed by a demon and they just accidentally gaslight the demon into thinking that they are just part of the system. That would be so fucking funny. There's so much creative and goofy shit you can do with, like, system representation. There needs to be more.
Also, have you noticed how each of her videos features increasingly wild haircuts? I'm honestly impressed at the lengths she will go to look ridiculous, just to convince people. And furthermore, maybe what she really needs is an exorcist instead of a psychologist. Honestly, I feel like that is what she really does need, given the increasing number of demonic alters she's claiming at this point. It's starting to give me the chills. Actually, now I think about it, her Jesus altar might come in handy for that one again.
Tourette's content on this page, and fair warning, talking about it's probably going to make us tick more than usual. So I think it'll be a good idea to just cover some basic terminology around Tourette's. So if you have ever ticked, even once, you have a tic disorder. You have Tourette's if you have had at least 2 physical tics and 1 verbal tic over the course of an entire year. Those are literally all of the qualifications to have Tourette's.
So after circling through various disorders, Vermon's now claiming to have Tourette's syndrome. Nice. I guess at this point, she's just really trying out different things. If this doesn't work, honestly, it's back to square one. Not only is she making skits, but she's also giving out questionable mental health advice. Like her recent claim that you have Tourette's if you experience at least 2 physical tics and 1 verbal tic over the course of an entire year. As someone that actually has a head tic, bullshit. Like, seriously, does she even have brain cells left at this point to make a claim like that? To diagnose Tourette's syndrome? Specific criteria outlined in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders, DSM-5, must be met, including the presence of both motor and vocal tics occurring many times a day, nearly every day, or intermittently for more than 1 year, with symptom onset before the age of 18. And considering Vermon's age, again, which seems to exceed beyond the days of the monthly calendar, I honestly highly doubt she fits the bill for this diagnosis. But when she switches her alters, her tics mysteriously disappear. So what's up with that? Hey, Vermon, aren't you supposed to have tics all the time? It seems like she needs to review her script more often, because people are starting to notice these inconsistencies. One moment she's twitching and the next she's perfectly fine as a different alter. If she really had Tourette's, her tics wouldn't just vanish with a change in persona.
We talk a lot about how difficult it is for alters to not look like themselves in the body, but honestly, I feel like the ones who are really missing out is everyone else outside of our system. I get to look like me when I return to Headspace, and you never get to see just how stunning I am. Our inability to shapeshift is really just depriving the rest of humanity. It's sad, really. It's sad for you.
Like, this is what I look like. Suffer.
God, fuck. Having Tourette's is this fucking nightmare. Where the more upset you get about your tics, the worse they get. Jesus.
Comment reads, I don't know anyone who has DID or have it myself, but this infuriates me. So, you probably do. DID affects an estimated 1 to 3% of the population. That's an estimate based on diagnosis numbers, and DID is a covert disorder, so this is probably an underestimate, but we'll go with just the 1 to 3%.
Aside from giving out dubious advice on self-diagnosing Tourette's syndrome, she's also sharing tips on stimming and claiming that anyone could have DID, despite saying that only 3% of the world's population has it. This, by the way, includes undiagnosed cases, which is a very covert disorder. She's installing this belief in her followers, and with her platform, it's easier for her, and no offense, but gullible audience, to believe her. They might begin to believe that they have signs of this condition simply because Vermin made content about DID leading to self-diagnosis. And that's honestly where it becomes dangerous. At this point, it's just generally becoming less surprising as time goes on. And yes, DID is often covert. Yet Vermin is making ridiculous skits on TikTok with bright green or other flashy hair colors, which is just total nonsense. And honestly, that doesn't sound covert at all. And when she dishes out advice, she exudes this pure confidence. But let's pause and ask, is she even qualified to do so? Hell no. Surprisingly enough, a random TikToker on the internet cannot just start diagnosing people. While perhaps people with real DID can go onto TikTok and perhaps give advice, I don't see an issue with that. Nobody does. But someone who's clearly faking this, self-diagnosed, cannot go onto TikTok and then start diagnosing other people. That is ridiculous. And if she's going to fake having a disorder, she should at least make an effort at this point to try and be somewhat convincing. Perhaps she could start by familiarizing herself with the actual symptoms, because what she's portraying falls short. And if she were really licensed, she would not resort to making those stupid TikTok videos. So at this point, it's pretty clear that Vermin is not exactly a beacon of credibility when it comes to offering advice. I mean, guys, not trying to be rude, but I mean, just look at her. I mean, even with that appearance, are you really going to take her mental health advice tips seriously while she's wearing horns and fangs? I wouldn't even trust my doctor if I had something as simple as a sprained ankle and my doctor walked in like this. I would be hopping right out the door. Also, take note, because she keeps adding new mental health disorders to her collection every few months, like they're Pokemon. Gotta catch them all. It's honestly just worrying that nowadays, anyone who says that they've been through something can give medical advice on a platform, and people will generally take it. It's also incredibly sad as well that we live in a day and age where you would even have to question this thing, on where your first instinct, it seems like nowadays, when someone seems to say that they have DID, is to think that they're probably now just faking. How did we even get to this point? It's just honestly disgusting.
Alright everyone, thank you for attending this Demon High Council meeting.
Now I know no one wants to be here, but this is very important. And you're all hell's shining examples of evil.
Now, before we get down to the numbers of it all, let's go ahead and do roll call.
Felgen, beast of the putrid flame.
Here.
Zurgle, the black mouth swallower of children.
Here.
Kelsey, the boss babe. Kelsey.
Yes, here.
Uberius, the controlling bender of minds. Obviously, I'm here. Carthax, the destroyer, siege of the Seven Realms. Carthax?
He's not here.
Are you kidding me?
He's been completely AWOL for months.
Yeah, no, he's been completely gone. The human suffering department is kind of falling apart. Fuck. Of course we can't just start a meeting off like normal. Okay.
Now, I want you to emphasize the trend of using TikTok filters, particularly among those portraying mental health conditions. It's something that I've been noticing lately. These fakers who are heavily relying on filters for their content. It seems like everyone's jumping on board. Maybe because it's easier than changing up their actual appearance for their alters on screen, but You slap on a filter and yeah, an instant demonic look betraying your alter is... Now, some might argue, oh, it's just a harmless fun with filters. And yeah, I guess filters can be entertaining, but they don't respect the seriousness of these videos when it comes to mental health. And remember guys, alters stem from trauma, not filters. That should be my new sticker idea. Like our main subjects in this video, Vermin and the rats who claim to have demon alters. But the reality is, she's just milking and benefiting so much from making these fake TikTok videos to try and portray what DID actually looks like. But this condition doesn't really look like bright filters and big horns. Fakers like her can easily adopt any alters that they desire, whether inspired by books or movies, all thanks to these available filters. Maybe these TikTokers could just take a step back and try and understand their condition a bit better through therapy or self-reflection instead of solely relying on those filters. But I guess that's also another problem, because a lot of them might not actually have the conditions they're portraying. And by the way, I'm not implying that you don't have it. If you suspect you might fit into this disorder, you may or you may not have it. But as I always emphasize in my videos, just please don't listen to these people on TikTok. Don't listen to a woman with fangs or horns telling you with cool little filters that you might have it. Honestly, please go and get professional help and take these mental health conditions seriously. And honestly, in my opinion, using filters to depict DID, it just kind of cheapens the whole thing. Do you guys agree? Generally, does it not just kind of sadden you that the people that actually go through this have to see this crap? I'm generally curious to hear what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think filters are just harmless fun and they should totally be allowed to do this and switch in different alters in every single video and make it this fun quirky thing, and when it's obviously not that at all? Let me know. With that all being said though, I always appreciate you guys watching to the end. If you guys could please hit the like button or leave a comment down below, as it helps the algorithm so much, and I always appreciate it. With that all being said, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.